Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Indian Cowboy back with another whole card coverage. We did it yesterday. Did okay yesterday. We're back at it today. This is Thursday, July 10th games that we're going to be looking at. And, not as big a card as yesterday, but still some nice little matchups out there. Before we get to it, don't forget, take care of a couple business. DocSports.com/free60. Get in that free $60 account. You can check us out and use that on any of our best plays over at the website. Also, while you're over there, you can get, here at YouTube, you can get on the Indian Cowboys level 1. Get Indian Cowboy for $19.99 a month. You get a couple, 3 to 4-ish in a video format every day here at YouTube. So click the link to sign up. We also have a level 2 that we've added here the last 3 or 4 months, where not only do you get Indian Cowboy, you get 3 premium plus plays from 2 or 3 different experts every day. I mix it up. I do the video. It's usually not my plays. It's just a random whose plays I like for the day.
And folks, it's not Craig's plays.
Yeah.
It's other people's plays that Craig is nice.
They're crucifying me. I will say this. I'm not great at handicapping the handicapper. I'm still learning everybody. I knew a lot of these guys. I've been here for 7 months now, a little more. I knew most people, but I don't know. I didn't know everybody, especially the intricacies of what they're good at and that. So I'm learning that, and we'll get better as we add more sports. But don't forget, get in on that. Click the link in the description. You have to get the prices of $19.99 and $14.99, $49.99 per month. You have to buy at the desktop. So make sure you do so by clicking the link in the description. All right, let's get right to it. And we're going to have Indian Cowboys start us off. There's a doubleheader today. And to be clear, I had the Mets-Orioles game as my 7-unit top total of the month. Was my first one I've had this year. It got rained out yesterday. I do not like it today. If you bought it yesterday, you'll get a refund because the pitching matchup has changed. And there one pitcher starting in the first game, one starts the second game. But I see, why don't you cover both games? I'll lay it up for you. Mets in the first game starts at noon. Favored -127, total 9. Second game, Mets favored -159, total of 10. Tell us how to bet these two games.
Well, it's interesting because the 12:05 game, the site that I'm looking at has Doug Peterson as their pitcher. And then this 5:05 game, they have Doug Peterson as the pitcher as well. So that'll be interesting. But then there's Morton and Sagana here. Here's what I think. I think the Mets roll into this game having beaten Baltimore, right, 7-6. And so obviously Baltimore has a little bit of revenge coming in. Baltimore was playing really well coming in, and they did lose. And you got to go pretty far back before you find Baltimore having lost 3 straight games. You got to go all the way back to middle of May. Now, having said that, they're still 10 games under 500, which goes to show how bad they had started off the season, and they just strung a whole series of wins together. You have Peterson and Morton here. I think, with Peterson, he comes off 6 innings, 5 hits, and 1 run against Milwaukee. He pitched really well, and he has not pitched against Baltimore this year. He had back-to-back non-quality starts, then he pitched well. Yeah, but he's also given up 3 walks in each of his last 4 starts. That's not good. That's 12 walks. So that's 12 base runners, which is the same thing as 12 hits, same thing as singles. And then you have Morton here, and I'm familiar with Morton because I'm a big Braves fan, and Morton used to pitch for the Bravos for 4 straight years, and the Braves let go of him, but he has a lot of experience against the Mets for that reason. He pitched against his former team and went 5 innings, 6 hits, and 2 runs. But he's actually, he was terrible to start off the year. But he's found a zone now, and he's put together what, I would say 5 of 7 quality starts. This game can go either way. I won't say that I have a huge lean on this game one way or the other. I would say that maybe take a lean on the over here simply because the last game went to 13 runs, and I don't trust either of these guys to put together back-to-back quality starts. I just don't. And I love the fact that the line sits at 9 as well. So I like the over between these two teams. I will tell you this. If the Mets win the first game, I really like Baltimore for some value in the next game. And that is because not only will they have lost back-to-back games, but Sugano comes off back-to-back horrible starts. And this is Tomoyuki Sugano. And, I'm not very politically correct. I just don't think an Asian pitcher will have 3 straight non-quality starts. right? So, and I'm Asian, so I guess I can say that. But he's given up 13 runs in his last 2 games, so he's not going to have 3 straight non-quality starts, right? I mean, he went 4 innings, 10 hits, and 6 runs in his last game. 5 innings, 9 hits, and 7 runs in the game before. That's the absolute worst 2 runs he's had. By the way, we are not sponsored by Brewster's, but my wife just brought me Brewster's. So thank you, Brewster's. feel free to sponsor Craig and I. But no, I mean, he's given up 5 home runs in the last 2 games. He's got to come through. So here's my deal, Craig. Number one, I like the over in this game between Baltimore and New York. And if New York wins the first game of the doubleheader, I really like Baltimore in the next game because I just don't think Baltimore will lose 3 in a row because, as we mentioned earlier, they haven't lost 3 in a row in 2 months. Having said that, let's go to the Cubs in Minnesota game here at 110. Total sits at 9.5 with Ray and Paddock here. Cubs minus 125 road chalk. Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, Twins going for the sweep here. Won the first game 8-1, second game 4-2. Cubs have lost 3 of the last 4 games, in fact, and Minnesota finding their rhythm a little bit. 4 of 5 games winner. I think you have to take the value here with Paddock and the Twins at plus 105. I don't go crazy on these early games on weekdays because getaway days are the early games always scare me. So very small play in this one, but if I had to bet it, I've got to take the value of the Twins. All right, I see you're going to take my Reds here. Reds finally battled back and got a win in this series.
The Reds won.
They look to even it up and go 2-2 in this series with Lodolo on the mound. Reds big favorite, minus 185, total of 9.5. What do you think?
Dude, the Reds are assholes. I had the Reds as a free play, and they didn't come through. I had the Reds as a premium in this series, and they didn't come through. And then, of course, I didn't have anything the other day, and they went 7-2.
Yeah.
You know, having said that, you have to be impressed with Miami. I mean, Miami's playing really well. They swept Arizona, who's up in their game right now, but they swept Arizona, and they took 2 of 3 from the Reds, which is pretty impressive. You have the Reds here coming in this game, still 1 game above 500, but they had lost 4 in a row prior to that. Quantrill and Lodolo here. Quantrill's an interesting pitcher. He has not pitched against Cincinnati this year. He went 3 innings, 6 hits, and 2 runs in his last game. A bad start, but he has helped his team win his last 4 starts. But he's been very hittable for certain. But I do think he bounces back somewhat here. But the total sitting at 9.5 is interesting too. And you have Lodolo here, who has not pitched against Miami this year. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, and 3 runs, and he struggled, and he lost his last game. I do expect him to bounce back a little bit. That's the worst start he's had in over his last 4 starts. The last time these two teams met, that total was at 9, and it pushed. And this is the highest total of the 4-game series that they've had so far. So what I think happens in this game probably goes over. Miami can be an active dog here at the same time. I like Cincinnati to get their bats going as well. So I like the over between these two teams. Seattle hooking up against the Yankees here. This is an evening game at 7:05. You have Wu and Stroman here. Seattle comes in as the road chalk, actually, minus 120 on a total of 9. Who do you like?
I think a lot of it has to do with Stroman, his ERA. You see a 7.5 ERA, that kind of, like it's going to draw people, especially with Wu as a low ERA. It's going to draw people to the pitching, what is perceived as a pretty big mismatch. I don't think that's quite the case. I think Stroman, he's only had a handful of starts this year. He was on the IL for a long period of time. This will be his 3rd start back. First start was good. Last time, not so good. We know what Stroman can do. He's better than his ERA suggests. Now, can the Yankees bats just give him a little run support? Because it has been feast or famine for the Yankees. They did win yesterday. I believe that's 2-1, right, in the series, I believe. I think the Yankees, with Stroman on the mound, find a way to get this win. I like the Yankees here at the plus money. I do like Wu. He's a very nice pitcher. But guess what? You heard this before, Seattle fans. Last year, best ERA in baseball, one of the worst offenses. They don't give a lot of run support. And I like the Yankees in a hot, humid day here in evening in New York to get this one at even money plus 100. I see Rays and the Red Sox, 2 really good teams that are playing good baseball right now. I don't know if the Red Sox are a good team, but they're playing good baseball. Let's just put it that way. Both these teams above 500 now. Let's see. Oh, it's a pick'em game. Minus 110, total 1.9. What do you like here?
I really liked your analysis on the Yankees-Mariners game. To piggyback off that, I like Stroman to go over in strikeouts because I think it's like his 5th start back. I think he goes 5. 3rd start back. So I think he kind of busts out there. All right, Tampa Bay and Boston here. Tampa Bay, winning against Detroit 7-3. They avoided getting swept, and they did that twice now against the Twins as well. And but they always seem to get it for Boston, right? Tampa Bay seems to always have Boston's number sometimes. But Boston did face Washington and Colorado and did what they were supposed to do. They swept both of them. They won 6 in a row coming in. So then you have Bradley here hooking against Buehler. And Bradley has not pitched against Boston this year. He has pitched against the Yankees a couple times. Bradley's lost back-to-back games, 5-6-3 against Minnesota, 5 innings, 6 hits, and 3 runs, 5 innings, 8 hits, and 5 runs against Baltimore. He hasn't put together 3 straight bad starts all year long, so I do expect Bradley to come through here. I also think Boston has faced pretty crummy Colorado and Washington teams. And, it is tough to face good teams after you face 2 really bad teams. And with Tampa Bay rolling in, having faced really good teams of late, facing Minnesota and Detroit, I think Bradley comes through here. As far as Buehler's concerned, I like the fact that Buehler comes off a nice win against Washington, 5 innings, 8 hits, and 2 runs, but he wasn't sharp. And he hasn't put together, he's had 6 of 7 non-quality starts of late. And he had last faced Tampa Bay at 5 innings, 3 hits, and 2 runs, and he beat them. I like Tampa Bay here. I think Tampa Bay does well. As far as Cleveland and the White Sox are concerned, Cleveland comes in 85% of the public back in Cleveland here, and yet they're only a minus 135 favorite. Total at 8.5, and only 16% back in the White Sox. Who do you like, Craig? Or do you see any value here?
I mean, I don't the odds, and when the public is that heavy on a team, especially a team that the Guardians can't score runs. I mean, they've won 3 of their last 10 games. It's not like they've been good. The White Sox have actually won 4 of their last 10, and the White Sox.
And the 3 that they won was the last 3 against Houston.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you bet the Guardians at that number. Now, do I love the White Sox? No, they don't. They haven't done much, but at least they're coming off a nice win. I think you got to take the under in this game. Like, neither one of these offenses score a whole lot of runs. I think there's a little value. If you're betting aside, you have to take the White Sox. I think at plus money at home. But I don't trust the White Sox, so let's take the under instead in this one. All right, Nationals and the Cardinals, the 7:45 game here on Thursday. The Cardinals didn't look good today, minus 140 favorite, total 8.5. What do you like here?
Well, Washington did beat St. Louis 8-2. And they had lost 4 in a row coming in, and they came in as a plus 206 dog, and they came through. And St. Louis comes into this game, 5 games above 500, and they were so high. I was so high on their coach, and then I think reality hit, and the team started figuring them out. And second time through, that's how when a team and a manager is very good, the ability to be creative. That's why Andy Reid is phenomenal in football, because he kept invigorating, changing. Even with all these young stud coaches coming up, he just kept innovating, which is what makes him phenomenal. So Soroka here, a former Brave. I know Soroka pretty well, too. Followed his career for a while. 4 innings, 9 hits, and 7 runs against Boston. He went 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run against the Angels. He was actually putting together 3 straight quality starts, and then he had a really bad start, okay? So now, as far as St. Louis is concerned, he hasn't pitched against them. I think he probably comes through with a decent start. That's the reason why he's only a plus 120 dog here. Plus, Mikola rolls in here. As he pitched against Washington, he went 5 innings, 4 hits, and 1 run. And he beat them last time. He comes off of a loss, though. His worst start of the year, arguably. 6 innings, 10 hits, and 8 runs. The only bad start before that was that Boston start in the beginning of the year. So both these guys are off of pretty bad losses. I was hoping to see something around 8.5 for a line, and I got it. So I like the under here. I think they both come through, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes under the posted total. I don't see any value on either side. Both these teams sort of I know Washington is off of a win and St. Louis is off of a loss, but I just don't trust St. Louis fully. Atlanta and the Athletics here. I am actually on the Braves right now, and Atlanta's up last time I saw 6-0, so that's good. And so Atlanta facing Oakland here. Craig, Atlanta is up 6-0 on a total of 10. Strider here facing Sears. Who do you like?
This Braves team is puzzling. I will say that. I hate to say that to pound on your team, IC, but this is just one of those years that they say you play to the back of your baseball card. There's a lot of guys not playing up to their like the back of their card, and usually over time that fixes itself. We keep waiting. Strider's one of those pitchers that we're waiting on this guy to be. I mean, he has some elite stuff, but I think you take the Athletics here at plus 130. Strider's a guy that he'll get you tons of strikeouts, but he walks guys, he gives up home runs. And the A's are one of those sneaky teams that they can sneak up. And we saw it the other night. They hit the inside Parker to win the game. What they score, like 7-8 runs that game. I mean, they score runs in bunches. I got to take the A's at this price. I just can't lay price this kind of juice with the Braves team that is 15-29. So if they win tonight, they'll be 16-29 on the road. Give me the A's plus 130. All right. Angels hosting in the Rangers here to finish off this series. I believe it's tied up. The Rangers jumped up early. I believe right now it's tied up 3-3. while we're filming this. 9:38 time. Texas minus 120 with Corbin on the mound. Total 9.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, it's actually 4-4 now. And, going back to the Braves, I agree with you 100%. And I think part of that is because Brian Snitker, he's almost 70 years old. I just think it was just a coach that didn't set the tenor for the season. Like, I just don't guess the talent's there, which means you got to just get it out of him. And he's not getting it out of him. So I kind of put it on the leadership. If that was Ron Washington, I bet you Ron would have got it out of him,
Yeah.
So as far as this game is concerned, it's tied up right now. Texas is 2 games under 500. They beat the Angels 13-1. Kumar Rocker trying to come through here for them. The Angels here who lost 1-13 and who's lost 4 of 5. And a sad situation with Texas and the flooding, et cetera. Obviously, they're hoping to give that fan base something to hold on to there, but it's a terrible situation. But Corbin here on the mound as he faces the Angels. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, and 1 run, and he beat the Angels last time. So you have the Angels who are on a bounce back against him. I like the fact that he beat the Padres 6 innings, 6 hits, and 2 runs last time. That was his best start over his last 5 starts. I think he's going to have a big letdown. I'm hoping that Texas wins this game because I might back Kokonowitz here as he faces, when he last pitched against Texas, he went 4 innings, 8 hits, and 4 runs, and he lost. I like the fact that he comes off of a loss to Toronto, off of a loss to Washington. But the only problem is he's given up a lot of hits. But I do think he comes through here. He has to come through after back-to-back losses. He's only had 3 straight losses at 1 point this year. I like the Angels in this game, and I really like the Angels if they happen to lose once again tonight. Finally, Arizona and San Diego, Craig. Arizona's actually up in this game right now. Tonight, I think they're up what are they up? 6-0 in the top of the 5th as we film this. And you have Rodriguez and Vasquez here. Arizona coming in as a minus 125 road chalk on a total of 8.5. Who do you like?
I had this game yesterday. I had the Padres. I just not a fan of the way the Padres played. I watched them last week here in Cincinnati. I went to one of the games. I watched all 3 the other 2 on TV. They're just not a lineup. And I don't know if it's Tatis. I don't know. Like, since he came back from the suspension from the PEDs, he hasn't been quite the same guy. Hasn't had that pop. Machado's a little year older. I mean, he's a guy that he still gives you solid numbers, but it's not the numbers when he was putting up the ridiculous numbers, 6-7 years ago. I just think this is an overrated Padres team. I think the Diamondbacks have underachieved this year, especially Rodriguez on the mound tonight. I think they're going to get this one. Give me the Diamondbacks minus 125. I think this is a Padres team that I'm probably going to be fading here for the next couple of weeks until we see what they do at maybe the trade deadline. All right, so that's what we have for today. That's all the plays. Don't forget, go to DocSports.com/free60. If you're a new customer, get a free $60 account just to check us out. Use it on however you like at the website. Or, of course, click the Premium Plus. Click the link in the description. Use desktop, just $19.99 for ICs level 1. Or get the ICs plus the Premium Plus for a month, just $49.99. And use that link in the description at the desktop to get in on those prices. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you back next week with another entire card of Major League Baseball. We'll be later in the week because there's the All-Star break next week, FYI.